Today, I'd like to tell you my 3 morning hacks that don't have to do with coffee, although I do drink my share of coffee. So, my number one ultimate non coffee morning hack is finding exercise that I can do over 60 that is community building and a lot for my mental health. So even though it helps my physical health for sure. And the first one is Nia. And if you haven't heard of Nia, it's the best form of dance for women in their 50s, 60s plus. So you do it in your bare feet if you want to, but I use my shoes usually just for arch support. And then also, it is very freeing emotionally and mentally, and it involves martial arts, yoga, and modern dance. And the women that I do it with are the best, and my teacher, Lowell, is the best. So I do it downtown Littleton at the Buck Center and at Goodson Rec Center. And then the other type of exercise I do primarily for mental health and community is biking. And there is one biking group that I have joined in with one time in Littleton, and I think I'm going to look them up again just for the community aspect and because it's just more fun doing it with other people, right? But to keep up with those 30-year-olds, I decided, well, you know what? I'm not going to kill myself anymore. I actually am going to get an e-bike. So I did. So the e-bike that I got, the primary reason that I got it is it's only 37 pounds. I don't have to have a car rack to put it in the back of my car, and it breaks down with just 3 hinges. And I can break it down, and it's about the size of a wheelchair. If you would consider about this high off the ground, folded up, it's about that size. So I can do it myself. I don't need my husband to hoist that bad boy onto our car rack. And it is a great mental health stimulator, and I can go farther. And I like that. And sometimes I just like to look at the scenery. My number two ultimate non coffee morning hack is creating bone building exercise. Now, these types of exercises, for me in particular, are not as fun as the mental health ones, but I know they're important as a woman in her early 60s postmenopausal who has osteopenia. So I understand the value and the necessity of building bone mass. So, what I've incorporated are a couple things. The first thing I'm doing is I'm working with a personal trainer to do specifically bone mass building exercises, weight training exercises like squats, lunges, deadlifts. But be careful because you don't want to stress your joints or hurt yourself. So work with a professional if you can. But I do believe that weight training overall is very important for bone health and to keep our muscle strength, right? And our muscles support our bones. Another easy way to support your bones is just to add a weighted vest. Don't kill yourself. You want to start with about 3% of your body weight, FYI. And I'm going to share my screen with you. I have a new vest that is coming through Amazon. And oh, before I mention that, I love Shelly's Fabulous 50s channel on YouTube. She also has some great osteoporosis and general health exercises for women over 50, and I happen to be over 60, so it applies to me for sure. But here is the vest that I'm talking about. Look, it even has a little phone gadget so you can put your phone in it. So I'm going to start with probably about 4 pounds. I'm about 135 to 139. I don't know. I never weigh myself. So that's my guess. But I'm going to start about that. That's about 3% or so of my body mass. And then I'm going to build up to about 10 pounds. I ran into a couple other ladies on a trail yesterday and they were using one. They were quite a bit younger than me, but they were doing it for other health benefits, including just feeling stronger. So I will be incorporating a weighted vest in my program. And another thing that I have started to do is when I'm walking, and you can do this with or without the vest. I'm going to turn my computer, is just to add some stomps into your routine. So when you are seated, for example, and you're just watching TV, what you can do is just stomp during the commercials. Okay. Just heel stomps, pretty easy. And then when you're standing at the counter doing your preparation at your sink, just do lifts, heel lifts. That. And then what you can do also is when you're walking, you can just add a couple stomps to your walking set. And all I really do is this: I'll walk for a while and then I'll stomp. And then if my dog is going to the bathroom, which she does a lot, she's 13, I'll do some marching. So here's kind of the stomp I do. And then when Lucy's going to the bathroom, I do this. So just that reverberation in your spine will trigger your brain to add bone mass. So that's going to be helpful and it's pretty easy to do. Obviously, if you're like me and you have plantar fasciitis, that's a whole thing, right? Because you don't want to be pounding on your heel, but I haven't found that to be more disruptive or hurtful to my heel. I just have really good shoes when I do it, and I kind of distribute the stomp over my whole foot. I don't pound on my heel. So that is the next type of exercise that I incorporate now is the bone mass stuff. So the last third ultimate morning non-coffee hack that I incorporate in my daily routine is to have a photograph that's taken recently of yourself that you absolutely love. And in my case, when I do personal branding sessions with women, I include what I figure is the most key ingredient in the whole equation, which is a printed trio. And mine is over here. So basically, it's something that reminds me every day. I would recommend actually putting it in your get ready area, like your vanity or your bathroom where you get ready, and look at it every day and say, damn, you're doing really good. You got to do that. You got to have a recent photo of yourself. Okay, this is a little plug, just saying, for personal branding photography. And I'd love to photograph you, by the way, and get you one. But let me show you a couple other clients, little trios. This is Lisa, one of my all-time fave clients. She's a kick-ass realtor with Compass. This is Jennifer. She is, let's just say, she's a coach in the in pairing adults with disabilities and helping pair them with good resources and the caregivers of adults with disabilities. She's amazing. And this is Angela, who assists me sometimes, and she's a super talented photographer. This is Anne, who was in the healthcare arena for many, many years and retired and is actively involved in PEO and other organizations. And this is Carol, a business professional who is so engaging and so endearing. And look at her, this is how it would look displayed. It's just so fun. So I would say that is a very, very good dopamine hit. And you don't have to really do any form of exercise. So would love to see you in the studio and get you one of those. But remember to always have a recent photo of yourself because it's very important to look at yourself now in the body you have now, with the skin you have now, and say, yay, you.